Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. You're getting the preview breakdown for Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yarde 2. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Sound like a bit of a preacher here, but I think that is what inspired me to do this particular breakdown. Because, you see, salute to you, my brother. I hope that you're well. The inspiration behind this preview is a previous I told you so moment. If you go back to the preview of the first fight between Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde, I said this. I like Lyndon Arthur. He's an old school throwback fighter with good boxing fundamentals. He can box on the front foot. He can box on the back foot. He can fight under pressure. He's got a great jab. He's got a good right hand. He mixes it up well. He's got a good distance, judging distance, space, timing. I said, this guy is the full package. A lot of people in Britain, a lot of people came on here and told me about Anthony Yarde as if, like, I haven't seen Anthony Yarde up close and personal. I haven't spoken to Tunde Chaya. I watch his guys work. And I'm not seeing certain things. I'm just sitting, like, as I'm here, I'm not seeing things. And I said, if Anthony Yarde can get over the Kovalev problems, and I said it for the Kovalev fight, if he cannot get past the jab and he cannot get on the inside against a man who's got a better jab than himself, that jab controls distance, it controls pace, and it doesn't allow you to get comfortable, to get leverage to throw big shots. He said if he allows Kovalev to get onto that jab and box him, the problem would be this. They would get outpointed and be on the end of a jab and eventually get knocked out. That's what happened. Now, Yarde is a likable guy. He's charismatic. He can fight. But there are question marks. And I'm going to go through those question marks a little later in the show. As for Lyndon Arthur has done it the hard way. Anybody studied Lyndon Arthur and watching, he's done it the hard way. He hasn't had the Tunde and then would argue and say that they've had it the hard way, but they've not had the big nights in the same way. Lyndon Arthur's been away, out of the sight of British boxing fans. Forgive me. He's been out of the way of British boxing fans. It's been like a kept secret of British boxing. Studying this craft and learning about distance and timing and different types of opponents and being on the road, and he's learned his trade. He hasn't been fed a whole lot of cannon fodder to just knock over. A good example of that is, this is when Lyndon Arthur, I thought to myself, you know what? This guy's got something. He fought a guy called Emmanuel Armin. That's what I said in my preview. And Emmanuel Armin came flying out the traps to Lyndon Arthur, put him against to the Commonwealth title. And Lyndon Arthur came through a really difficult storm to come back and win the title. And he would drop Armin as well. And those are intangibles. The ability to come through a war, come through a difficult patch, be behind, and then come back and win a fight. That is something that not all fighters can do. Mike Tyson is a perfect example. Great old top fighter. But when you drop Mike never got up to win a fight. Lennox Lewis, as great as Lennox Lewis is, he never got off the deck to win a fight. Lyndon Arthur is one of these guys, as far as I'm concerned, who's got those intangibles. He is ready for a dogfight, and he can fight different styles. He can shift it up. He's adaptable. And at world level, at elite level, unless you're a murderous puncher or you've got some insane speed, you've got to be something exceptional about you. You need to be able to have variety in your work. Lots of variety. And he's been based on boxing fundamentals. Pat Barrett, good boxing fundamentals, a good boxing teacher. And that is what Lyndon Arthur has had. So Lyndon Arthur, about him coming to the party, he was always at that level. It's just that British fans are now seeing what Lyndon Arthur's about. But I'm hearing the same rah, rah, rah nonsense again. Oh, Yarde's going to knock him out. Yarde's going to knock him out. Like, and totally disrespecting Lyndon Arthur. Totally forgetting about Lyndon Arthur himself and his punching power. And I give Lyndon Arthur in this fight the puncher's chance, not Yarde. Okay? You go and you look at Lyndon Arthur, the opposition he's faced. And then look, I said this about Luis Ortiz before he fought Deontay Wilder. I said, well, who did he fight to prepare himself to fight Deontay Wilder? He blew a guy out in a round, then he went and fought Deontay Wilder. I'm like, that's no preparation for you to prepare for a world title shot. And the same thing I'm asking of Anthony Yarde. Now, people will say, you've got James Cook in the corner, there's lots of improvements. Well, where are these improvements? Unless you're in the ring, improving, fighting someone, blowing somebody out around doesn't move you've improved. It just means more cannon fodder. You had a comeback fight against Koval, in a nightclub behind closed doors. And then you had another comeback fight recently. He blew a guy out in a round. But where is the rounds in the bank? Where is the fight where he can learn the different skill sets and the different things he's been taught by James Cook and Tunde Ajayi? I'm not seeing that. And he's going straight back into a rematch against a guy actually who's fought since and defended his WBO continental title. So he fought Fachi in a fight where that guy was live. He came out, throwing punches, caught Arthur with some good right hands. He was live. He came to fight. But Arthur's left jab was nice. His right hand was like, we saw different styles with Arthur. We saw Arthur fighting on the back foot. We saw him coming onto the front foot, coming forward, looking to take the guy out. We saw beautiful shots, the straight right hand, the uppercut, shots to the body. So we saw a variety of shots there from Lyndon Arthur. And the fight went a few rounds. So we saw Lyndon Arthur going through gears. So all these people talk about, Yarde's can make all these great improvements. Well, can't Lyndon Arthur go away and make improvements as well? It seems almost like rematches there's a smell to them. It was almost like when I talked about the Cecilia Breakers fight with Jessica McCaskill. And Breakers could not admit she was beaten by McCaskill. She could not admit it. So she just thought she had to go back in the gym, be a bit more intense, and she'd win the fight. And I told you all, she goes out there and does that same mentality, she's going to get beat. Now I'm hearing Anthony Yarde talking about, when I let my hands go, it's going to be raining down. When I let my hands go. Wait, so it's a punching bag, is it? It's a punching bag. When you let your hands go against a counter puncher, a sharp counter puncher that jabbed you enough the first time. I've heard nothing in the conversation from Yarde saying, you know what, guy's got a good jab. I've got to make sure I don't get hit as much of that jab. I've got to close this guy down faster. I've got to do more work. He said, I let my hands go in the 12th round. I let my hands go in the 12th round. You have to also understand that nowhere in his professional career has Yarde had to come out in the first round and hit a really hard, fast pace for 12 rounds. He can't do that. He can't do that because he's worried about getting, emptying the tank like he did against Kovalev. Yes, he was intense and he came forward in the 12th round and he let his punches go, But also it could be said that Lyndon Arthur relaxed in that 12th round because he felt he had to fight in the bag. Lyndon Arthur did get rocked with a good shot from Yarde. but so did Sergey Kovalev. They both lived to tell another story and to defeat arthur-yarde. So the fact of the matter is, all this talk about, well, Yarde, you know, all he needs to do is he's got James Cook in his corner. Listen, nothing changes in that camp. It all shows on arthur-yarde. And the questions I have to ask at arthur-yarde, because Tunde can say all he wants, Cook can say all he wants, but it's all down to Yarde. Going to that camp and you see Yarde is the head man. He's the head honcho. He's the man, right? That's not changed. He's still the man, right? Those dynamics are still there. He's still the man. And as long as he's still the man, then the way I look at it is that it all falls on him. It all falls on him. Has Yarde shown in his career that when things are not going his way, he can adjust? Has Yarde shown in his career that he can transform the style that he has at the moment to actually go on and win significant belts? These are the questions that must be asked. The style that him and Tunde has formulated, is that style show or substance? Is that style good enough to win a world title? Is that style good enough to beat Lyndon Arthur? It's all well saying, well, you know, I got it in the tank and I could have done this and that, the other. Even if you empty your tank, is it good enough to beat Lyndon Arthur? That's the question. And let's be honest, you look at that fight, Lyndon Arthur was just jab, jab, jab. This is all basic, fundamental stuff behind the jab, 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 jab. He was rocking Yarde's head back all the time. So, yes, Yarde may not have been there, and he had some personal circumstances outside the ring. But this time round, those circumstances then, strange enough, could have prevented him getting knocked out. This fight now, he's more closer to getting knocked out than in the first fight. And I'll tell you why. Because now Lyndon Arthur knows, right, I side you up now. I know what you're about. I know what your power's about. You understand? You're not suddenly going to hit harder all of a sudden. You're not going to get quicker all of a sudden. You might be a bit more, you might put your foot down a bit more. But if you put your foot down a bit more, you're going to leave yourself open to get counted. And if Yarde decides to come in with this different style without being able time to work it out, Lyndon Arthur and Pat Barrett, all they have to do is like, this is the game plan. We know that when we hit him with a jab, this is what's going to happen. We know how Yarde reacts. So they just build upon that. That's what they do. They build upon the success they've had. In the other corner, you're now bringing in some different dynamics in. And then what's been said? What did the camp feel? You know, it was a robbery. That boy was lucky. You know, it was an off night. That's the mentality going into this fight. If that's the mentality in this fight, Yarde will get beat again and more comprehensively. And I said, he might even get himself knocked out in this fight. I'm telling you, because Arthur's combination looked nice in that last fight. The uppercut is nice. Straight right hand is nice. His left jab is stinging. It's knocking the head back. I like it. The vulnerability with Arthur, the same things that Arthur does well defensively, are the same things that if Yarde can time it right when Arthur throws a jab, sometimes watch carefully. Over here, there with Lyndon Arthur on his side, you watch him carefully. This side there sometimes is open. Yeah? When he's boxing, you'll see him here on this side. On his left side, he's open. All right, he's open for the right, a straight right hand and the looping right hand. He's open those two shots, Lyndon Arthur. If they can get an overhand right or looping overhand right when Lyndon jabs, if they can slip under and throw that right hand over the top, Arthur may have some problems. That you can't just come forward in straight lines with flat feet and expect to try and outbox Lyndon Arthur. It's not happening. Flat feet and walking in straight lines, you're not beating Lyndon Arthur and you're not outboxing Lyndon Arthur. Sorry. It's not happening. You're not outboxing Lyndon Arthur. You've got to outwork Lyndon Arthur or you've got to stop Lyndon Arthur. And the way you do that is that you've got to work Lyndon Arthur's body early. Okay? Work Arthur's body early, bring that guard down, and then proceed. As for Arthur, what he's got to do is just stay tight. Tuck up tight, wait for Yarde, because he's open to the uppercut, he's open to straight right hand, he's open to the left hook. As he comes, he's not great. He's actually not that effective off the back foot, Anthony Yarde. He's effective coming forward. And he's effective coming forward when you allow him to dictate the pace. But if you don't allow him to dictate pace and you push Yarde back, he's not as effective a fighter. Yarde isn't as versatile as Arthur. He's not that versatile. He's an on-top fighter. When things are going well, and he's trucking forward and he's making you miss and throwing shots, that's great. And he picks his shots. Very much, he throws his punches almost like Kell Brook. You have throw a punch right there, and then he'll jump in and hit you with a right hand there, and then he might throw a little dazzle combination. A lot of it is standing and watching and looking. And those times when he's standing and looking, that's when Lyndon's got to stick with a jab. I want to see more straight right hands from Lyndon Arthur in this fight. Because, I would like to see Yarde get more rounds under his belt for this rematch. All them knockover jobs he was having early in his career, yeah, they're going to hurt him in this fight because he hasn't had learning fights. Knockover jobs where he's been in control. Never been. The only fight he had problems and difficulty with and got hurt is when he fought Kovalev. Since then, then he's come back and he's had another challenging fight again. This time after he's lost. So I don't see what changes Yarde could make technically and execute that beats and improved Arthur in this rematch. I don't. Anything can happen in boxing, but I'm not convinced. I still believe that Arthur has the tools. Yeah, absolutely. Yarde might make improvements, but in the thick of the battle, I think he will try for a quick KO. Arthur just has his number and he might actually stop Yarde this time. That's what I'm believing. Manuel Marquez got dropped 3 times in the first round against Pacquiao and boxed to a draw. That's talent. I see that in Arthur. Yeah. See it too. I think Yarde against Kovalev may have been the best we're going to get. Quite possibly. Arthur and Crawford are similar in that they don't enjoy the media, but they love performing where they can get to talk. McCaskill, Breakers 2 was even more emphatic. McCaskill was really matured and grown since the Taylor fight. And that's down to Rick Ramos. Shout out to him. And Arthur has a jab, could flip a hip on, solid work. It looks like he studied Larry Helms a bit. Yeah, and I like he fights with a bit of a chip on the shoulder. Him and his trainer, they've got a chip on their shoulder. I like that. Nice attitude, Dad. Andre says, seems like Yarde has lost all his hype. Most people don't even know he's fighting this weekend. I've got Arthur jabbing his head off and winning a unanimous decision. Okay. Yeah, when I think about Kell Brook, I just want to arrest anyone in matchroom for mismanagement. So much untapped potential. After being Porter, they should have kept Brook in the US. I told you. Mismatchroom. I've told you already. So those are my thoughts on the fight against Brook. Yarde versus Arthur 2. And don't buy into the hype. Oh, Yarde's just going to walk over there and knock him out. That's absolute rubbish. Don't believe that for 1 second. I actually believe that if he does that, you may end up walking something very nasty. Can't imagine all the rubbish we're going to hear from Tunde in the corner. Well, gonna have to be on his best behaviour because this might be his last one. So you have to be on his best behaviour. If Yarde uses the game, Tunde has to go. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand why Tunde has to go after this fight. If he ain't right, he ain't right. That style that he has is the Tunde Jai style. The stamina for sale, the master combinations, and all the rest of it. The master key, the advanced boxing pad work, all that stuff. Combinations. Well, you better open that chest up because they're going to need it Saturday night. Trust me. Every combination, 1754, what 2568, whatever, he's going to have to find the combination to unlock Arthur's chin because or his body. I think another 3 fights, Arthur should go to US and start looking for the light heavyweight guys out there. Absolutely. He belongs in the US already, I think. Ingram Lopez got humbled badly, bro. Yeah, I know, but I did the post fight for it and the preview for it, and I said that stuff can happen. How did you see the fight playing out? I did a preview to it and I did a post fight. So check the post fight and pre-fight, post fight out, but I wasn't surprised. And if Haney got beat by Diaz, I wouldn't be surprised because none of these guys, Haney, Lopez, they don't impress me. They just don't impress me. I don't see what the fuss is all about. Tank's a big puncher. The last 2 fights he's been outboxed, but his big punches got him out of the way, got him out of trouble. So I don't know. I'm not overly impressed by those guys. Josh Taylor, different kettle of fish. Proven. He's done it over and over and over again. Terence Crawford, done it over and over and over again. I don't put guys like, even Virgil Ortiz, I don't put their man in this, and Boots in this, I don't put their man in the same category as Josh Taylor's and Terence Crawford. These guys have been there, they've seen it, and they've done it over and over and over again. I mean, I've done it as the best. I don't care much for them, to be honest. Hayes fighting that, I don't care. I'm not even bothered to turn the TV on and watch it. I don't care. It does nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. Well, when I saw him do the stinky leg going back to the corner, I thought, you know what? This is exactly what I thought about it. Just, he's okay, but he's no Floyd Mayweather. He'll never be a Floyd Mayweather, ever. All I meant to say, how do you see Yarde 2 play now? I've just broken it down. My only prayer for Arthur is this: God, please don't let him get mismanaged and his talent stretch out on B-class fighters. I see my boys fighting. Callum Johnson. He's got the punching power to cause some real problems to Joe Smith Jr. But again, Callum Johnson needs to fight more regularly, man. Needs to fight more regularly. So far, Crawford has stopped everyone he's encountered at welterweight division, even retiring Sean Porter. I don't know if Spence will be a match for him, but I want to see it. Spence needs to fight some fights, man. So yeah, that's it on Yarde versus Arthur versus Yarde 2. And let's make it be what it is. It's Arthur versus Yarde 2. Arthur is the champion and a deserving champion, and it's down to Yarde to prove the prophecy wrong. Do you like Callum's chances? He's been super inactive. Joe might stop him. Yeah, Joe probably will stop him. But Callum's dangerous for the first 3 rounds. Callum can get in Joe Smith's face and land them big, heavy bombs. He can knock anybody out in that division. He can knock anybody out in that division. I'm telling you, he can knock anybody out in the lightweight division. Those first 3 rounds. I love how Arthur boxes so effortlessly. He never looks tight or tense. Did I pick Arthur for this weekend? Yes. Yes, I did. Picked him again. I'm going to go for him to stop Yarde this time. Because Yarde, I think, is going to try and come forward and do more work. Which, when he does more work, I think he's going to be out of his comfort zone, because he's always put his comfort zone in his career at that certain pace. And he played cat and mouse, and then when he's ready, steps at the pace and gets a guy out of there. But that's fine at a certain level. But he's at a different level now. And they need to recognise Arthur for what he is. He's a top-class fighter. I said I could be completely wrong about this, but I don't see how. I think Arthur's a different level, different grade. It's do or die for Yarde. I think he can do it. Well, you know what? Everyone's entitled to an opinion. But for me, no, I just don't see it. All I know, oh no. So, yeah, that's about it, I think. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. As always, this is BWTM Sports Gaming. And we're out. Have a fantastic night and enjoy the weekend's boxing.